How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're doing a discussion video. Oftentimes we kind of sit around and discuss things amongst ourselves, and we just kind of thought we would throw our opinions out there. I mean, I know we're not really experts on a lot of the stuff that we talk about, but we just kind of found or thought it might be interesting for you guys to hear exactly what we thought. Maybe you guys are in a dissenting opinion on what we talk about.
We have really strong opinions, I should say. It's very hard to have us be persuaded, for the most part. But depending on the topic, obviously, we're more willing to kind of, lean into whatever opinions we might hear.
Mm-hmm. So this might be a reappearing series, but we thought for today we would talk about our opinions on the future of music. I mean, a lot of times now you'll hear people talking about like, oh, music was better back in the olden days, or music now. I mean, I don't.
Or like,
really...
I was born in the wrong generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't I listen to Johnny Cash all the time?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whatever, dude.
And we were just thinking about kind of discussing why we think that is. I mean, obviously people have different opinions on everything. So I guess we should preface, one, you're bound to find music in a certain genre if you like a certain genre. Like, especially now, music's so widely available that you can probably find someone you're gonna like that creates music nowadays in the style that you like. And also, two, that we're not musical experts or anything.
By any means, no.
Yeah, we just like music a lot. And,
once again, we're really opinionated. Like, we know what we like about music, but we're not, like, experts on this.
I don't know. I think I was in band for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, we were in high school
I
band.
consider myself an expert.
Yeah,
I took a music theory course once.
I was in college jazz band. But, regardless, I mean, that doesn't
play into our backgrounds, though, of what we kind of prefer music-wise. I know... Personally, I could listen to like orchestral music and be fine with it and like not understand it, but like I can enjoy it. Whereas I can totally see other people like not necessarily not getting it, but just not enjoying it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like because I kind of enjoy orchestral music or jazz music just because I had a background in that. Mm-hmm. But I can understand why people wouldn't.
Like Matt.
It's not meant to be a highbrow thing. I mean, sometimes people think it's a highbrow thing, but it's not really. Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe we should start with, I don't know, maybe our favorite types of genres and why maybe they're our favorite type of genre. Like, what do you listen to, Kyle?
So I listen to a lot of, as recently I listened to like a lot of rap, but then I also listen to like, I don't want to say indie rock, but I listen to like kind of no-name people, I guess. But I just like their style, which is more, it's rock per se, but it's more like poppy as well.
Do you think that's because you're pretentious?
I do think it's because I'm pretentious. Yes.
I'm kidding. No, if you like the music you like, then that's why. Why do you think you like that kind of music?
I think it's because I just like the style of it, where it's more upbeat and it kind of, it's not. This sounds bad, but it's not like poppy to the point where like I don't know how I'm trying to word this, where if something's really poppy, you kind of go, oh, I could totally see that like being on the radio or whatever, and like just listen to it and it just kind of be brain dead, I guess.
Yeah.
Not saying that all pop music's brain dead, but
more catchy.
Yeah, it's more catchy more than anything. So it relies on like a catchy hook or something. Mm-hmm. Whereas I guess the music I enjoy is like cohesive, like as a full song I enjoy, like I could listen to each part individually and be like, yes, I really enjoy each, like I enjoy the chorus or I enjoy this bridge or whatever like that, but I can enjoy the whole song in its entirety as well.
Yeah, I think that's I was listening to someone about this. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I mean, one of the biggest things, it actually might have been, so I think it might have been a professor of mine, but he was saying like one of the key things in writing basically any song that's going to be a hit nowadays is to have a appropriate hook. And something and a beat that goes along with it, because that's what catches viewers in.
Yeah,
I mean, really, when you're listening to music, you got to think about like what you're trying to get out of it in a way. Like if you're trying to listen to a dance hit, like obviously you're gonna listen to a pop song or a funk song, and that kind of cycles. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's kind of a big argument in this whole thing. Like, where's the future of music gonna head? A lot of it is that music cycles. So what was popular now is not going to be popular 20 years in the future.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we're never going to know what exactly is going to be popular. But at the same time, I think a lot of stuff is going to be a classic that sticks around forever. And I think that's why people are like, oh, I was born in the wrong generation.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily make you pretentious, because I'm a huge fan of 70s and 80s music. I mean, obviously, I don't go around gloating in your face like I only know true music. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that do.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna actually mention when you talked about how a lot of songs need like a good hook. I feel like that's like the main focal point of like rap music is the hook, right? You get in like there's obviously the good rapping parts and the verses and stuff, but like
A lot of them, it's just like a trap beat.
yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of trap beats, but I think I know you listen to Kanye West as well.
Yeah.
I feel like personally a lot of his beats are really musical. They're not just drum and bass or whatever.
Well, one thing I like about Kanye a lot is like each album has a different feel or theme kind of with it. Like each album has its own unique kind of rhythm or beats about it. Like obviously he recently put out a gospel album, but like that's nothing close to what like 808s and Heartbreak was, or what
even,
My Dark Twisted Fantasy was,
or Graduation, or
yeah,
like they're all different.
Each album has a different unique tone with it. But then you can look at some other artists where like I personally like Tyler the Creator a lot, but like a lot of his albums are fairly similar in a way.
Do you think it's because like they hit a formula and they're trying to just replicate that formula, that success?
A little bit. And I think with Tyler the Creator specifically, I think he just finds like a new almost persona to take with each time. Like recently with his popular album Igor, I mean now he's wearing like a blonde wig in his music videos and stuff. And it's kind of like his persona in a way. But like his albums are fairly similar to one another.
I feel like with a lot of pop music and pop musicians, people find the formula, and if that if one song gets some successful, they're gonna do the exact same, not the exact, but they're gonna do the same thing for the next album or the next song, or they're just gonna keep trying to do that because they're gonna play off of it, and then people get sick of it, and then finally someone else comes up with like something that's slightly different, and people like that for a while, and then like you're saying, it's like a cycle.
Well, in regards to pop, I feel like the people who are most successful at it are people like Ed Sheeran and Charlie Puth, where they kind of do the same thing in a way, but it's their musicality that is super important in that sense. Like like I'm a big fan of alternative music, and some of the bands I listen to a lot are like Muse and The Killers, and well, anyways, some of the things that I like about them are, one, they are musical geniuses when it comes to like playing their instrument and singing. Two, I mean, they focus a lot on concepts, and that's something you were touching on in with Kanye, is that like his lyrics reflect around something instead of like just being about sex or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking a lot about WAP, and it's been going around a lot that WAP is just
God.
an absolute piece of garbage.
That
like
wet ass P word.
It's just like it has no place, I feel like.
It has no place in our society.
Like, even like,
No.
and this goes both ways. Like, even if there was a song about a dude talking about how big his dick is, I feel like it wouldn't even be. It's in the same scenario. Like, I wouldn't want to listen to that. I wouldn't want to have my kids listen to that for sure. Same. I mean, that's why WAP is kind of just gross.
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of more of a meme
like,
than anything.
It's kind of like the Amy Schumer of music, where like it's just overly sexual for the sake of being sexual, just to get attention. Which sometimes that works, but like in this case, it's just not. That just doesn't do it for me, and I feel like it really shouldn't do it for other people either.
Yeah. I think one thing that a lot of people are really worried about is like electronic, or like people are gonna focus on laptops more. Like I hear a lot that, oh, you don't play an instrument, you play on a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see that as being a main issue, because there'll always be musicians, but I think what makes new technology great, especially in the realm of music, is that you can add to your own musicality through it. Like, that's
anyone can do it too. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Anyone, like, if they have an idea, they can go create it. It can be a shitty idea, and I've heard terrible music before, but at least they're putting themselves out there. They're getting that experience, and people, hopefully, they take that criticism and they make, they turn it around or whatever. And I feel like a lot of big names don't listen to criticism. I feel like.
I don't know how relevant that is to the. I mean, not listening to criticism is great, is a bad thing, obviously, but I'm not sure how relevant that is to the future of music. Because like a lot of people are, like how I said previously, a lot of people are thinking that music is going like all electronic, and I don't necessarily think that is what's happening. Like, and it could be just because I listen to a lot of alternative and modern classic rock, like bands like Greta Van Fleet and stuff that are like kind of not necessarily Led Zeppelin knockoffs or whatnot, but they kind of are in a way. That's a different discussion. Anyways, I think they are bands that still require them to be a great musician in a sense, and I don't think rappers are any less musicians just because they use a laptop.
Yeah, I agree.
You know
I think when it comes down to it, it's obviously you have a producer and stuff like that. I think it matters how much the musician themselves are getting involved with the music, other than just writing the lyrics and singing them or rapping them or whatever it is. I think the production that goes into it is just as important, but it does kind of take away some of the musicality from it, or the raw talent, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and there's raw talent in different senses. Like just because someone can rap fast, I don't really think that makes them a good musician. Although a lot of people who can rap fast, I do think are good musicians.
Yeah,
like,
I would agree.
Like Eminem or Logic or something like that. I think they are, decent musicians, and I listen to a lot of their music. And I think rightfully so, they get a lot of listeners because they are talented in what they do. But I don't know. Another thing to talk about is like the future of music being like with all of the virus stuff, like what is going to happen to like live shows and
I feel like
I know a lot of shows are suffering from ticket sales.
I think it gives a good opportunity for like smaller or like medium people who like trying to put their name out there. Kind of gives them a chance.
Yeah, I would agree, because you can go support your local, like jazz club or something like that. Not club, like a jazz house or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can kind of go there and kind of get a feel for what they're putting out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're, expecting to go out and to like see like a Taylor Swift concert or something, and then like it gets canceled, now you have a weekend that's free. So like maybe go try out something else that you're not, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Well, be social distancing and stuff like that, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I think another issue with the music industry that a lot of people are noticing is that people aren't making a lot of money off of CD sales anymore. A lot of things are going to Spotify and YouTube Music, and that kind of is
SoundCloud and
yeah.
SoundCloud,
in a way, it's kind of damaging to a musician because they don't make as much money off of it, and especially for people who pirate music. I don't know if that's
me.
You might not want to admit that on camera, but like
that might be me.
Like that could hurt musicians, like because a lot of their money comes off of ticket sales and stuff.
No, I would definitely agree with that. It's kind of like it demotivates you when you notice like you're not making as much money. So then you make lesser quality. I say lesser quality, but you try less. And then if you notice that you still get the same amount of sales, you might as well just keep going until you don't have to try.
Yep. So I don't know. I don't think music's ever. Music will never go away, obviously.
No, it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it comes in cycles, as I was saying earlier. So what we like now, we may not like in the future. There's also research that's been done on like if you. I don't remember exactly how old you have to be, but you are probably gonna like your tastes at a certain point in time, and you'll be able to stick with that. It's
typically your adolescence. Whatever you listen to in your adolescence typically is what you like throughout the rest of your life, which for us is right around alternative music, like emo rock and hip hop.
I went through an emo phase for sure, but
we all listened to All American Rejects, and we all listened to Fall Out Boy and all them. Like we've all listened to them.
I guess I wasn't one of them.
Yeah, you were, sure.
But you listen to Panic at the Disco now. They're more poppy than emo rock now. But that's just because they're evolving with the times.
Yeah. You gotta evolve with the times. Your music slowly shifts to match what other people want to hear, which can be a blessing and a curse because sometimes you pull in a new crowd, but at the same time you might be getting rid of your fans that you already had.
Yeah. I think if you just write what you like, then that's the best way to put out good music. And going back to like Charlie Puth, he writes in the style that he likes to do. And I know it. I mean, it just so happened that it became popular, but I think of him as a musician, like the way he deals with all of his harmonies and all that kind of stuff. Did you know he's got perfect pitch? I don't know if you knew that.
No,
or
I didn't
not,
know that.
But, I'm not trying to.
I know we had a band teacher that said that they had perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch and relative pitch are two definitely different things. Like, I'm not even sure if I had relative pitch, but I can sing a note that
I can't do that.
if I hear it. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Interesting topic, I suppose. Let us know what you guys think about the future of music. If over a course of a couple of topics like we talked about, like, do you think that electronic music is gonna take over, or do you think that like society will shut down the rap industry because of the way it's being progressed? We didn't really touch on that, but I mean, I think that kind of could be an
we can still touch on some of this.
Okay, yeah. Hold off on the comments.
No, leave comments, leave angry comments, and then edit them later. We'll see it. I think as a society, music reflects what's going on in society at the current time. If you look back in Vietnam and you look at like music that came around that time, a lot of music was either anti-war or patriotic music. I'd say patriotic, but it was either you were either for your country or you were kind of against it in a way. Like Fortunate Son is about the war, and it's a good song in and of itself too. But it was definitely really pertaining to that time. And you look at things like I forget what the name of the music festival that typically is associated with smoking a lot of pot. So like in the 70s there was Woodstock, which was a lot of we like to associate like with hippies and stuff like that. We're all about the peace and anti-war, man. And that was definitely very topical for that time. And then you kind of keep going forward, and then you slowly have music that's supposed to be reflective of like the younger generation and how they're like, we don't want to listen to you adults and stuff like that. I mean, you look at We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister, and I mean that's really a song about kind of sticking it to the man and being like, we're gonna do our own thing, and some stuff like that, where as society progresses, so does music.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, Elvis, people hated Elvis when it first came out.
Yeah.
But it's not in our minds. It's not even that like
controversial,
rebellious or anything like
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's just rock music, rock and roll music. But
yeah.
I mean, people hated it back then.
They're like, this is the devil.
Yeah,
and then
he's moving his hips too much.
and that translates from now on.
Literally
But,
any generation, yeah.
To get back on topic with the question, do we think that society is going to tear down a specific genre? I mean, and I mainly meant rap, because a lot of times rap gets a lot of flack.
I think
if you do rap,
it will always be there though. Like
from my understanding, rap is supposed to be about like the daily struggles of that person, right? Or like their success and where they've come from, where they grow up, and they tell their story essentially about who they are, how they got there, or who they met along the way and stuff like that. But sometimes it kind of loses focus. I feel like nowadays, that was originally the intent of rap.
Yeah, I feel like originally with like Eminem and stuff, like he came from Detroit, he came through like a lot of hardship and stuff. Like Eminem now, he's at the point where he's like, well, what am I pissed about now? It's like, I guess politics. Like,
yeah, so you think rap comes from anger?
Yeah, and I think it just like, hey, I went through like some tough stuff in my life. Like, it's just a way of expressing yourself. But I feel like some people who try to rap because it's cool, it's like, dude, you live in a suburban neighborhood, like you're fine, like you're just a normal person, like you're just rapping because you think it's cool, whether experiencing something.
Yeah, I think you should. So I don't think you should devalue someone because they haven't gone through that experience.
Well, yeah,
but I know what you're saying. Like,
I feel like the best rappers went through stuff to where it's relatable.
I feel like that way about a lot of things other than just music, though. Like artists and stuff like that typically are the same way. Writers are typically the same way. Not saying that you should go ahead and, you know, cause problems in your life to be a better musician
Yeah.
or artist.
Or you have to go through some struggles.
Yeah, you can be successful otherwise, but I totally see what you mean, where people kind of see that and they go, well, this is disingenuous. Or it can come off as really disingenuous when you pretend to be someone who grew up in the hood, or you pretend to grow up with struggling, you know, with cash or something like that. Like, I can see why people would be upset about those types of people.
Well, like Eminem, like I used to love Eminem a lot, and like I'm sure a lot of people were able to relate with a person that went through Detroit, went through a lot of crap, was in a rocky marriage, had kids at a young age, and is like trying to provide for him. Like I'm sure a lot of people could relate with that. And then I mean he got hooked on drugs. Unfortunately, some people can relate with that as well. But like he went through a lot of crap in his life that people can relate with. But now, for me personally, I'm at the point where like Eminem is just rapping about like politics and trying to find a reason to be mad. It's for me less relatable. Like he's just trying to find things to be mad about in a way, and he's just trying to rap faster and faster and faster. And for me, like I don't think Eminem's as good as he was.
Okay.
I think rap's just an anomaly though in that sense, because a lot of times rap is not just your ability to rap, but also your
The way you
ability.
can
the
convey
way-
your feelings correctly
I
in your
mean-
story.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to street cred as well. Like Snoop Dogg said it right, and Lil Dicky's song "Professional Rapper." Like you have to have, not only do you have to have skill, but you have to have the background and your past to back it up. You know.
Once again, I feel like that kind of goes back to, you know, if just because you say these things, is it genuine? Like, I think Lil Dicky does a good job at like not pretending to be, you know, growing up in the hood life or anything like that. Like he's like, I grew up in a rich Jewish family. Like,
Yeah. But I think he plays it well because he's also a comedy rapper.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, it's
Oh,
it's,
for
it's
sure.
a little harder to do it like genuinely when you're not like when you're trying to be an actual rapper. But yeah, I don't know. Did you guys have anything else to say about the future of music? I think
it's gonna be more like kind of poppy and more. I think it's gonna continue to be more upbeat. I don't know. I feel like that's what's grabbing like the kids these days. But like I think it's just being more upbeat or like fast tempo. And I think technology is gonna play a lot of part in that. Honestly.
yeah.
Do we think that maybe like acoustic, not necessarily just acoustic, but like, yeah, I guess acoustic, not guitars, instruments, do we think that might fade out? Or do you think that's
I don't
always
think
going to be relevant?
I don't think so.
I think
I think it'll always be relevant because
I mean, for me though, like acoustic is more of like a mood than like something I seek
Sorry,
out.
let me rephrase that. Versus digital. So
Okay.
instead of, I mean, like,
oh wait, you're playing traditional instruments.
yeah, my
okay.
bad. Traditional
Traditional,
instruments versus, you know, like we said, computerized beats and stuff like that. Do we
Yeah.
think traditional instruments will still be a thing? Like, I know a lot of musicians.
It's just not going to be out there as much.
I mean, it also depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, once again.
Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, which with Slash, obviously they're not going to do a whole lot of techno stuff because they're a traditional rock band.
Yeah.
But they're still popular nowadays because, I don't know, one, Slash is a big name. And,
Are they still popular? Like, I genuinely question, like, because
I mean, popularity is something that's, like, subjective. you
Yeah.
know? So, I don't know. I think they're a popular
Okay.
band, and also Alter Bridge is also Miles Kennedy's other band is also a popular band, but they don't rely on technology, and people still like them. So, but I think some of the best bands like intertwine technology and traditional instruments.
Like
Because, like,
Muse. Like Muse is pretty good at that.
Muse is one of the
You
best
can
live bands.
suck off Muse all you want now. Now's your time to let
No,
it all
I mean
out.
I was just waiting for you to say something.
Yeah.
Anyway, no.
Well, now that you brought it up.
No, but I think they're one of the best live bands because they're great at intertwining technology and their own musicality.
That kind of reminds me of my past experience of being like an indoor drum line, where there was a lot of, you know, people playing instruments, but then you also had like a lot of the coolest shows that you typically would watch is people who knew how to first of all, they had the tech, but they also knew how to use it with like cool sound effects, voiceovers, and you know, reverbs and stuff like that. So it was like a combination of, like you said, the technology and the traditional instruments.
Yeah, and I respect a lot of people. The people who have the, I don't know. I think the people who have the greatest musical background tend to make better music, even if it's electronic music.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a base
understanding.
understanding and knowledge of music itself to
Yeah.
be able to express yourself in a way. Like I don't know, making a song with just 4 chords isn't a bad thing.
It's
But
catchy.
I mean, people who can't do anything more than that, that's all they're going to be limited to, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
They won't ever
They won't.
develop past. I mean, they could, but they won't develop past that, and they'll be stuck in a rut, and then, you know, they'll eventually
There's only so much you can do with it.
fade into obscurity.
Yeah. So I think some of the greatest takeaways that we've had from this is that bands, like the bands that you know and love, are going to have to progress and evolve over time with people's music changes.
You'll
Like,
always find good music in any genre that, as long as you're looking for it.
Yeah.
I think.
mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that's another big thing, is that another reason that music will never die out is because there's always going to be someone there's always a creative person out there who wants to make something in a style that you will enjoy, and you just have to be able to look for it.
Yeah.
All those people who say, well, I was born in the wrong era. I mean, people made good music back then. I mean,
And they
clearly.
definitely make good music now. You just gotta find it.
You just gotta find it. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing I've learned a lot, especially like in my college years. Like, there's good music in every genre. Like, there's even an album that's in French that I don't understand a single word they're saying, but like, it's a good album.
I mean, I love J-Rock.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a weeb, but
Like, there's good country, there's good rap, there's good pop, there's good everything.
There's
Honestly.
good metal. I don't even
Yeah.
listen to metal, but I like some songs.
oh,
Yeah.
that's one thing I hate, is when people talk about country is like as being boring. Country is not boring. You're just only listening to
To
what's
that-
on the radio.
Yeah, you listen to the same like 7 songs on the radio that they repeat.
Yeah, go listen to good country. Now
90s.
it's time for us to be pretentious. Go listen to good country.
Yeah,
Go find something like
90s
90s
country,
Yeah,
yeah.
that stuff's actually pretty
Some
good.
Alan Jackson, some Dwight Yoakam.
Don't
That's-
listen to something featuring
the good
Marshmello
stuff.
or Justin Bieber.
It's actually, in my opinion, country music is one of the most like purest form of music, in the sense it's just traditional instruments, and it's just the voice, and it tells a story, and that's it. And you get done, you go in, listen to it, you get done, you go, oh, that's pretty good, I liked it.
That's what it should be.
It should be.
And one thing I hate about that is the pop industry is trying to pull. Well, I think it's mostly because the pop industry is so popular nowadays that the country industry is trying to, like Nashville is trying to get in on some of that, and so they noticed that pop country is starting to get a lot bigger than traditional country, and that's what's happening. But I think it's just, I don't personally like pop country. I know there's a lot of people out there who like pop country. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
and the more, I mean,
Nothing
to
wrong
each,
with
to each
it.
their own. Yeah.
Nothing
It's
wrong
just-
with
It's
it.
just not my cup of tea.
Yep.
Well, tell us what you guys think. If you agree with us, disagree with us. Personally, I think that, I mean, not trying to be pretentious or anything, but that opinion is kind of hard to disagree with. But just give us your thoughts, you know? So,
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. As always, you know, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Anything helps us at this point. We love feedback, so
and if you like this style of video, if you just like listening to us talk, we're no experts on these subjects that we're talking about, but you might find something, you might get something from this, might gain something from this. So if you do, just like you said, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Alrighty. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.